We have no time to stand and stare, said the tramp poet. And literally, when it comes to creativity, we do not have any time to contain ourselves. When we are bound to express ourselves, it's creativity. That is what literally creativity stands for, and this is our first lesson in the series Creative Writing Small Steps for Giant Leaps. The first lesson is an introduction to creative writing. It's presented by me, Palak Sharma. Few things about me. I'm an economics honors student, content developer, mixture of Keynes and Shakespeare, a poet at heart, theatre geek. Here's my link. Follow me on Unacademy. For doubt, feedback, queries, feel free to write in the comment section. And once you're done with watching the lesson, do not forget the 3 R's and the S. Rate, review, recommend, and share the lesson. Now, what is creative writing? The question I left unanswered in the previous lesson, the overview of the series, is that what creative writing actually is. So when I was going through Wikipedia, I came across this definition. You can have a read that creative writing is considered to be any writing, fiction, poetry, non-fiction that goes outside the bonds of normal professional, journalistic, academic, and technical forms of literature. Works which fall into this category include novels, epics, short stories, and poems. Writing for the screen and stage, screenwriting, playwriting, respectively, typically have their own programs of study but fit under the creative writing category as well. So yeah, well, take that for creative writing. But it's clear that even Wikipedia doesn't give a proper or clear definition, but only says that it is considered any writing which is outside the bonds of normal professional writing. So to rephrase it, I would say that in any subjects, concepts can only be understood by examples. So fiction, poetry, and non-fiction, they are all examples of creative writing. We'll look at them in detail in future installments of this series, but for now, let's see what constitutes creative writing. So the work which you recognize as creative writing, as said before, like fiction, then there's poetry, and then there's non-fiction, which are example of creative writing. They're examples because they're obviously creative and not necessarily true, except with the exception of non-fiction. So fiction is written to entertain and to educate. Or I would say that creative writing is written for two purposes: to entertain and to educate. To entertain, we have two ways, that is poetry and fiction, which can even educate you sometimes. And to educate, we have typically one way, that is non-fiction. So fiction is written to entertain and educate. We love reading stories, don't we? And although there are some true stories, most stories are nothing but fiction. So then there is poetry also, of which there are many forms, like poetry books, sonnets, haikus, pantoums, etc. So the above examples, which I already told you, they are obviously creative writing. But now we come to more subjective material, like ever heard of an autobiography or a biography? I'm sure you have. So then there is its distant cousin, the memoir. Famous people make millions by publishing memoirs, and some of them are popular reading stuff. And famous personality also write autobiographies or pay someone to write their biographies. So this is also part of creative writing under the genre of non-fiction. The fact that these types of writings are not written to entertain but to educate and to inform is very important. Like in bookstores, we all come across biographies and autobiographies which are sold along with the stories. But if I may be honest, I've never seen people literally buy them. Then again, this is because I'm too busy checking out the latest novels, and everyone is busy checking out them. So this is what creative writing is in a nutshell. And I would just say that poetry, fiction, and non-fiction, they are all written for both purposes, to entertain and educate. There are some poetries which can educate you way beyond what non-fiction can. And there are some fiction also which can educate you. Then there is some non-fiction which can entertain you. And some non-fiction can educate you, like you can always read Hitler's Mein Kampf. It's a great book. It's the only biography or the autobiography in non-fiction category that I'm literally a fan of. Otherwise, I'm not much into non-fiction, but still, some autobiographies and biographies literally make a mark on your heart and you can never forget them. They are not just to educate, but to inspire also. So creative writing is something more than just fiction and stories. It's also about your story, your life's experiences, which constitute non-fiction part. Now, creative writing means what you believe it means. What you believe is creative writing is actually creative writing. What people tell you, what Wikipedia tells you, what Google searches for you, it's not creative writing. In fact, I would say that what even I am telling you, it's not creative writing. Creative writing is how you perceive your creativity. So there's one question, this rhetoric one, that is creative writing an art or a craft? So of course the debate will never finish, but I do believe that it is both. Therefore, it is something special of an art and a craft, and forget about definitions. Use your own creativity and find your very own meaning of creative writing. Somebody said that writers have a gift, especially creative writers, and creative writers have the power to entertain someone, to make someone laugh, and to make someone cry, and especially to make someone think. You can make people think what you want them to think. So this is what creative writing is. And so we see that creative writing doesn't deserve a clear definition. Creative writing is in itself such a vast thing that you do not need to define it. It's way beyond definition. It requires your attention and a special meaning. If you love creative writing, you give it attention, you give it a meaning. You never give it a definition. Okay. So just remember that the right part of your brain, inside which lies creativity, it's waiting. It's waiting for you to harness it. So harness it right now, use it right now, utilize your creativity, utilize your right part of the brain, because I would say I love creative writing and I love reading it. I love writing it. So if you're like me, if you are, then what are you waiting for? Like, open that word processor, open that notepad of yours, or open that pen, open that book you have left unopened since times because you couldn't think of anything worth writing, and start typing. Simply like writing a diary. Daily night, just do one thing, pick up your diary, pick up a pen, and write something which happened all the day, or something which happened, some incident which happened, which pricked your heart, which made you weep, which made you laugh, which made you think. That's what creativity is. And you never know, you might find a hidden masterpiece inside those pages. And we may find next Shakespeare or next Keats. So I'll be looking forward to your writings. And thank you. That's it. Rate, review, recommend, and share the lessons. Thank you.